Have you ever worked so hard, put in your soul, practiced endlessly, and yet things still don't go your way? Maybe you felt like the world is working against you, like some invisible force keeps pushing your dreams just out of reach. If that sounds familiar, then this story is for you. But don't just listen, feel it. Because today I want to guide you through a powerful Zen tale, a moment where a frustrated boy met the Buddha himself, seeking answers. Now pause for a second. Think of something you're working hard on right now. Maybe it's your career, your passion, your inner growth, your spiritual journey. You give it your all, but the results? They're delayed, silent, or not what you expected. Sound familiar? Let me take you into a forest where time moves slower, where the trees stand tall like ancient monks and the wind whispers secrets through the leaves. There, a young archer stands alone, his eyes locked on a distant target. He pulls the string, releases with precision, but the wind steals his aim, again and again, frustrated, broken, questioning everything. He does what many of us long to do in moments like this. He goes to the Buddha, and what the Buddha tells him is not just a lesson in archery, it's a timeless truth about effort, detachment, and finding peace no matter the outcome. So sit back, breathe, because this isn't just a story, it's a mirror, one that might reflect exactly what you need to hear right now. Let's begin. There was once a young boy in a quiet village nestled near the foot of a mountain. Unlike the others, he didn't chase noise or crowds or fleeting pleasures. He chased mastery, precision, perfection. His heart was drawn to archery, not for war, not for competition, but for something deeper. The bow, the arrow, the silence between breath and release. It all made him feel present, alive. He believed somewhere in his soul that if he mastered the bow, he would also master life. And so he practiced. Each morning before the sun had fully woken the world, the boy stood alone in the clearing, barefoot in the dew-drenched grass, eyes fixed on a distant tree. He would breathe, aim, release, over and over again. No audience, no applause, just devotion. In time, his arrows became precise. His grip was firm, his eye steady, his focus unmatched. He could hit the mark again and again, as long as the air was still. But life, as it often does, began to shift. The seasons changed. Winds grew stronger, unpredictable. Now when he aimed with the same discipline, the arrow would drift, sometimes just a little, sometimes completely missing. At first, he blamed himself. Maybe his hand had trembled, maybe his breath had broken. But no, he was doing everything right. It was the wind. He grew angry, frustrated, bitter. "I've done the work," he shouted to the trees. "I've trained harder than anyone. Why can't I succeed? Why does something I can't control get to decide my result?" One morning after a particularly hard session, where not a single arrow landed true, he snapped. He dropped his bow. Tears welled up, not of weakness, but of exhaustion. If effort isn't enough, then what's the point of trying? With those words echoing in his heart, he began a long journey to find the only person he believed could give him clarity, the Buddha. He walked for days through the forest, carrying not his bow, but his questions. Through rivers, across stones, past wild animals, he walked with purpose and pain. When he finally arrived, the Buddha was seated beneath the Bodhi tree, unmoved by the world, eyes closed, radiating peace. The boy knelt down quietly and waited. Moments passed like hours, and then the Buddha opened his eyes as if he had already seen the boy in his mind before he arrived. "Speak, child," the Buddha said softly. The boy's voice trembled. "Master, I've worked hard, I've trained, I've sacrificed, but the wind, life, it keeps ruining everything I aim for. Is it my fault? Am I not enough? Or is the world simply unfair?" The Buddha looked at the boy, not with answers, but with deep understanding. He stood, walked a few steps, and picked up a fallen leaf. He held it out in his palm and let it go. The wind carried it gently away. Then he turned to the boy and said, "The leaf does not fight the wind. It rides it. You, on the other hand, are trying to control it." He walked back, sat down, and added, Your arrow is your action, your bow is your discipline. But the wind is the world. You do not control it. You never did, and you never will. The boy listened in silence. You asked why it's worth trying if you cannot control the result, Buddha continued. Because you are not here to control the result. You are here to master the release. The boy looked up, eyes filled with both confusion and realization. Buddha smiled gently. You see effort as a transaction, effort in, result out. But that is not the way of Dharma. Effort is your offering. Letting go of the outcome is your freedom. When your peace depends on where the arrow lands, then the wind will always have power over your spirit. But when your peace lies in how you draw the bow, then no wind, no outcome, no failure can shake you. Silence fell again, this time not the heavy silence of confusion, but the peaceful silence of understanding. The boy finally spoke. So I am only here to give my best, not to demand a reward? Buddha nodded. Yes, your best is your prayer. The rest is not your burden to carry. This story is not just about a boy or a bow. It's about you and me and everyone who has ever tried their hardest and still fallen short. Everyone who's ever wondered, why should I keep going if the results aren't guaranteed? Because that's not the point. Your effort, done with love, done with presence, done with honesty, is sacred. But the moment you tie your worth to the result, you give your peace to something you cannot control. The world will have its wins, unexpected failures, delays, rejections, betrayals. But the path is not about escaping the wind. It's about becoming the kind of soul who can still draw the bow, calmly, with focus, with devotion, even when the wind howls. That is spiritual maturity. That is true discipline. That is freedom. And that is what the Buddha meant. So, maybe right now you're walking through your own forest. Maybe the wind in your life is fierce. It shakes your confidence, moves your target, and makes you question your own effort. But just like the archer, you are not alone. You are not weak. You are simply human, standing in front of forces you were never meant to control. But you can choose how you hold your bow. You can choose how fully you show up, with presence, with grace, with everything you've got. And that is enough. If this story helped you pause, reflect, or even just breathe a little deeper, then know this. You're exactly where you need to be, and there are more stories waiting for you. More ancient wisdom, more quiet strength, more light for your path. On this channel, Light Within Yourself, every video is a mirror, a reminder, a spark. Not to motivate you for a moment, but to awaken something lasting in you. So if your heart resonates with this journey, tap like, because it tells the algorithm that stories like this matter. Hit subscribe because this is just one chapter. There are many more to come. And if you feel someone else needs to hear this message today, don't hold back. Share it with them. You never know who's fighting their own wind. And before you go, leave me a comment below. Tell me, what is the wind in your life right now? What's the target you've been chasing? Let's create a space where souls like yours can feel heard, held, and reminded. We are all drawing the bow together. Until next time, keep walking with awareness, keep creating without attachment, and keep listening to that quiet voice within you, because that's where the real power lives. This is Light Within Yourself, where stories aren't just told, they're felt, and your journey is always welcome here.